this situated so I can plug my charger in to the phone so we don't lose power. Alright. Okay, so today I'm just going to be showing you a little bit of how just to do some extra little inserts and so forth. What I did, I will show you here real quick. So I started with a music sheet that is old that I picked up from I think a garage sale. And so what I did with then was I took stamps, and I just wanted to make some birds. Let me see if I have this handy here. Where are my birds? So this is Diane Wakely's media stamps from Ranger. Okay, and I use these quite a bit. I've got a smaller version of these as well, but I kind of like this particular size. That works well. And then I have, just in case I wanted to add either flowers, I have this little stamper, Stampendous, and it's got some little flowers and so forth there. Not one of my favorites, but it's kind of nice to have for small things. Here's some with some words. Let me grab. So we have bloom, always be yourself, hello sunshine, celebrate today, homegrown with love. So I've got that handy. I want to keep this handy because I'm doing a lot of journaling and I'm going to need some squares. So I have these, and these are just from Hero Arts. And then this one, I don't know where this one's from. Possibly just something I ordered online through Amazon. But I do like this one. I know it's a familiar name, but I'm not sure. It all gets lost once I start opening them up. But I like the frames and so forth, so I might use that. So I'm going to keep that handy. I have some letters, and again, I don't keep the back. It's just too much extra stuff. So forgive me for not knowing the brands. And some of this is so old that I don't even know if they make these things anymore. So you just got to find what's on Amazon, what's at Joann Fabrics, Hobby Lobby, and so forth. Go to garage sales, because these can be really overpriced and just much too much money. If I decide to do some smaller birds, I've got these, and this one is, again, Diane Wakely. She's done a nice job with some of those cute things. I think this one's Diane too, and just kind of this funky dancing chick. I don't know if I'll use hers or not, but I'm going to keep these guys handy. And then this one here, I got this one from the family bookstore when they were still open. So some brand that they had handy many years ago. It is well with my soul. So I've got some stamp sayings here if I want to use them. And I've got my Distress ink, my very favorite, the best that's out there, I think. And these are Tim Holtz stamped by Ranger. I've got Barn Door, Pink, Picked Raspberry, Abandoned Coral. I might use my color box. This is my very favorite. I like the pigmentation of this. It's thicker, and it's just my very favorite, and these last a long time. It's hard to find these anymore. They used to be super popular back 15, 18 years ago, and it's a little harder to find, and when you do, you might have to pay the piper. But I love the color schemes with these, and the fact that you can take these out to edge. So if I wanted to just take this and just do some edging, I love this. Love, love, love the convenience of this. Super, super duper, and it gives just enough. I don't have to pull out a pad. I don't have to pull out scratch paper to do this. So it's just kind of a nice little edging. And I always have my scrap paper handy. So there's that. And oh, and I do have this one. This is one of my favorites as well. This one is EK Success, which I think I got from Joann Fabrics, I think. But you can go to EK Success. It's a big brand. And they're right here in Wilton Brands in Woodridge. At least they were when I bought this. Again, I love the shapes. So that's going to be handy when I have. And I'm also, I use the black soot all the time, and I just keep soaking it with the sprayer, the Faded Jean, the honey, wild honey, and the tumbled glass. And then in the walnut stain, this is a must-have along with black if you like that vintage look. And then some Dusty Concord. So really good colors, and they keep making more delicious colors that are just fantastic. So then what I do is I take I took the stamp and I just stamped right away. Boom, boom, boom. Now a couple ways, and I have a printed background that I did, and I stamped on here. And because you can't really write on this, what I'll have to do is this will be one that I have to build on, because if I'm going to add a message on here, it's going to have to be glued on because of the pretty background. But I like that look. And so then what I did was I just also took my, this is a Tim Holtz. The guy's a rock star when it comes to scrapbooking. Stampers Anonymous. I don't know. I wish there was a little code on here. But anyway, one of my favorites. I just wipe everything down with a baby wipe. I just use the generic, no fragrance baby wipe. Always make sure you get the non-fragrant wipes when you're going to be cleaning. And I buy a case and just have it handy, and I use that for all my cleaning, to clean my glass, to clean these, everything. My brushes, when I do water paint and paint, we'll wash those in the sink, but everything else I just use the baby wipe. So I did a little background with these guys already, and so the next step I'm going to do, I also have my colored pencils at hand, and I have my Sharpie. Now I did use the big Sharpie, and I've got a scrap paper behind here just for bleed through, but this one I already started coloring with the colored pencils, and I'm just going to make her real pretty, and I'm going to give her a little and it doesn't have to be perfect, y'all. You know, some people are so afraid. They want to try because they see so many cute pictures and so forth, but they're afraid to try because they feel like they're not artistic. Well, you don't know, and you're not going to learn unless you have at it and you try, and then you're gonna get better. And you can start by tracing. Either get a light box. I have two different ones. This one is a kid's version, the Crayola one, and inexpensive at Walmart. Works very well. You put your batteries in here, and it works just so fabulously. And I want to say it's under $20 for sure. I'm pretty sure, depending on where you're at, of course. Some areas are more expensive than others. I keep my washi tape here usually to hold down the picture. If you want to do if you're afraid that you can't draw, use the stamps. Go into Hobby Lobby or any of the stores, or just go onto Pinterest or Etsy or Amazon and put scrapbook stamps, and you can see all kinds of different stamps, and start with a couple of your favorites, and then from there you'll get a little more confident with the shapes and all that kind of stuff, and then go from there, and then you'll become more confident in time. So never be afraid, start with the basics. If you want perfect squares and circles, go to Office Max, Office Depot, Staples, whatever, and grab some of these. This I got at a garage sale, and it's actually a house design template, okay? So but I love the different shapes. So we've got the piano shape and all that. This is great for my journaling. And if I want to just put a couple small words in there, fantastic way to use it. And if you don't like your letters, there's all kinds of these everywhere. Michaels has these all day, way overpriced and not good sales post-COVID. But you can grab stamps. Look for garage sales. Look on Facebook Marketplace, and you might be able to. These were clearance from 13 to 3, and this was Michaels many years ago, pre-COVID, and I've got some other ones too, different sizes. So those are nice to use if you're afraid that you don't want to ruin what you're writing with your handwriting. I love my handwriting, and I have always practiced, like all girls do, with handwriting, and I do all different kind of styles. So I'm not proficient in traditional calligraphy, and that's something on my bucket list still at my age. And it'll come one day. Another thing you can do is, this little plastic thing was on a piece of clothing, and so I can use that to make little squares. So if I want to, cut out or just use this as a template to put words in, I can just outline it like so, hold it down real tight, and there you've got a square. Okay, so I just outlined it. And then if you want to get real creative, and you can go this way and use a different color pen if you want. And you can use the center word as joy, and then you could put the joy of the Lord is my strength here. You could put another phrase or comment over here. Fun. Just have fun with it. And all different tools. You can use gift cards, old used gift cards. Don't throw them away. Keep those and use those as templates. So here I started using my colored pencils. I'm using Prisma, a couple of Staedtler brand, a Portofino. Most of these I've had for many, 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 many years. And so he's going to be kind of peacock looking, I guess. That's kind of, I guess, where I was going here. And I'm just going to make a piece of wood for him to stand on. And the great thing is just utilize your colors. And when you use one color, the thing you're drawing comes out flat. So you want to add a couple of different colors. So I used a little bit of this burnt ember, a little of this, even this dark brown. It's no, that's one I was just using. So this dark brown, and it just gives it depth when you color and shade. So that you want to do that. I think I'm going to just use a regular old gray for his head, so he doesn't get lost in here. And actually this is this is gray. Okay, there's no color name on here. Weird. This is more like a pencil color. But I want his face to kind of stand out a little bit. I don't want to color it and give him a red or a dark blue or anything. Now here's a cheat with colored pencils. So when you do one color, and you see the little lines and so forth, what you want is a white or a lighter or color that you want to use, but usually white is a safe bet, because white alone on paper just doesn't really show up unless you're drawing on black or brown or dark blue or something. But the white's purpose, the white color, is to blend these colors, and you get a little bit of spreading, if you will, which makes it a little more natural. Really, really sweet. And then I'm just going to come down here, and I'd already started blending. I used this blue and this green, so it's giving it a blue-green effect with both colors, and it's just reinforcing the colors in here, and it's not looking so pencil-esque like I just colored it in. The white, or using another color on top of a color, just blends the pencil in. I would say I do like using colored pencils sometimes, but it's not my favorite. It's probably my least favorite tool when it comes to coloring. So I'm going to take, I used a stamp, and I put Tweet Chirp here. So I'm going to use these were just cheapy ones. I don't even know where I got these. No name, don't know. And I'm just going to highlight this. And then I'm going to come back in here and I have a pink pen, which is a Papermate Joy, which these are kind of nice. They last a long time. They're a medium point. I love that look. So that just makes it punch a little bit more, you know. So there's that. And if I wanted to, probably a good idea. Let's see, where'd it go? Here you go. Now, I did find these white pens. Now, they do get clogged up a little bit, but I would say these are probably my favorite white paint markers, okay? There's the tip. The tip does get a little bit dried, and I can clean it up with a baby wipe, just to make it a little smoother when it gets glumpy and dry. So that is one way to get rid of that glumpiness. You got to be careful not doing that to all tips, because you could ruin them and discolor them. So you do need to kind of play with this one. You got to shake it up, because the paint does come apart here. And then it tells you right here, shake, push, paint, and recap. Now, in order to get this going, I have to push, 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 push. And when you're pushing, it makes this go down. So let me show you how this works here. And I got these on Amazon. It's Artistro. So when you're pushing, see how, oops, I just put a hole in that. Here, let's use this. So it's pushing. It's pushing that in to get it wet. And you got to do it quite a few times. I don't use these real often. And then when it comes out, you get a little bit of a flood of ink sometimes, which is not a bad thing. So that's why you always have some extra paper over here. That's scratch paper or cardboard or something like that, and it doesn't want to come out. So usually, this comes in a pack of 6. And when it gets to be about halfway, sometimes I just have to throw it out. It just depends. You just don't know, you know. Now, I did buy a calligraphy ink in white, and I'm gonna try that, but not today. I'm not gonna pull that out today. I think I have enough in here. So I just want to give him a little bit of highlight. That's perfect. Perfect, perfect. You don't need a whole lot of ink with these. So there's that, okay. Now, what I'm going to do is add on later with maybe some words or pictures or something. But I'm just giving you a highlight of how this can look. And I'm going to do a couple of these. Now, here is one I added a little flower. This was a flower picture that I had taken, printed it out, 6 per sheet. You had to figure that out for your computer and your printer, because every printer and computer are different, but you have to figure out the way to do that, and you figure it out once you open up the print box on your computer, and then it'll give you all kind of options, and you've got to figure it out. So so a couple ways to do this, okay. You can use paint, and if you want a little more texture to the bird, that's not where I'm going today. I'm not pulling out the acrylics or the water paint. I'm just going to use marker, my Sharpies, and I found out that I didn't really like the bigger one. I thought that it would work, and I just don't like how it came out. It was too thick. So I'm going to use the fine tip here. Now on this one, since I'm happy with this outline of how this is, this paper is very old, so it rips really easy. I'm just going to rip this. No certain way, and I can always cut it down later, so I don't like to always cut it down too soon if I'm doing these in bulk, because I might want a bigger piece of paper. But when I get to my book that I'm going to transfer this to, I can always rip more off and make it smaller if I choose to. So I just like the background in those compared to this here. With this, I'll probably just highlight around it. And again, I'm going to keep this one over here so you can kind of see what that one looks like. And another option here, and adding, let's see. Let me see here. I am going to grab. And the fun thing with creating these different projects and mixed media is you can always add on and change as you go. With this one, let me see, and again, although I have my glass background, so if I bleed through, it's okay, I'll be able to clean it off. But you always want to make sure you have something in the back for when you bleed through. You don't want to ruin your desk or your table and so forth. And you can always keep little pieces for later on if you choose to. So I'm going to do that. And then I'm going to let's see. I'm going to use a little bit of pink. My Prismacolor markers, which are my very favorite. And I'm just going to do a little more highlighting here so that you see this, because once I put this into a card or a journal, it's going to blend in. So I can highlight that so people will see the words. And the fun thing with doing junk journaling and mixed media journals is people always come back and tell me, I keep looking through your book that you made and see something different in it every time I go through. And that's the wonderful thing about doing the journals, because you can come back and it doesn't get old. It takes a while. You think, oh no, it'll just go through real quick, but it really doesn't. And I'm going to make this guy maybe a little bit pink. This is a micro tip brush by Ink, INC. Give him a little pink tail. Sometimes if you are using a lighter color and you've stamped, you might pull a little bit of that black onto your brush. So you want to just kind of do this to get rid of that little black spot on your brush so it doesn't stay in there and blend in there when you recap it. Let's see, I'm going to do that. So I try new pens oftentimes because you never know. If I can save money somewhere or get something clearanced, that is a blessing. So this is just kind of gives you an idea of how easy ways to create and make fun little ditties. And if you have blank cards or you just want to make a card for somebody, something like this is fun. You know, if you play the piano or music and you've got some old music sheets, utilize them. Take them apart. Take a couple of your unfavorite songs and take them out of your book and reuse it, you know. Rip it into a couple pieces, add some cute little notes and fun anecdotes. Have fun with it, you know. Can I tell you what, my cousin is going through some, going through her mom's stuff because she just passed away. And man, all the stuff they're putting in the garbage, you know, it's just such a waste. So take advantage of books and things that you have that you can take apart and reuse them. I'm not this big recycle guru, but I am all about go ahead and recycle. Utilize what you have. And so the same thing that you do with the colored pencils, you can do with crayons as well. And I'm just going to add a little bit of orange down here. And some of this is blending with the black ink from the stamper, and that's okay. It's blending. It makes it look a little more natural, so don't get freaked out, because when you come back later to it, you're probably gonna like it. And if you don't like it, throw it away. If you really, really hate it, but maybe get somebody else's opinion. You know, sometimes we're harder on ourselves because we have a perfect image in our mind. Now I'm blending the pink with this little orangey yellow here, and I'm really liking how the colors blend. Love it. Just experimenting. And you know, this is not fine art per se. It is fine art, but it's not fine art, you know. This is not Da Vinci Code stuff. That's going to be, you know, utilized in a museum or whatever. Yeah, I'm liking how the black is blending, because it just really makes it look more natural. I love it. So don't look at perfection. If you want perfection, then you're going to take a photograph, and I am a photographer by trade. So if I want perfection, I get my camera out, and then I can put it into Photoshop and make it, quote, perfect, if that's the look I'm going for. But when you're drawing and painting and so forth, have fun with it. There is no, perfect way that you have to do something. And I'm going to give her a little more hair up here, make her look kind of fun and sweet and simple. Okay. And I'm going to outline this. It's always nice to do a little black outlining to make your words or whatever stand out. And again, it's not perfect. It's just fun. It doesn't have to be a perfect box. Again, if I want a perfect box, I'll use my stencil. But I'm not worried about that. I don't want to spend a ton of time on this. Now, if it's something special, say someone's special birthday or something, and you really want it to be perfect, then go ahead and utilize that, the time frame, and really diving in to make it look really nice. So this is what I'm going to continue on. I'll do a couple more of these and kind of be quiet and show you as I'm going to put that together. A little sip of cold coffee here. Let me see, what do I want to do? I think with this one, I'm going to go ahead and use my Tumble glass. Again, you can go on Amazon, you can go to Ranger.com and look at the hundreds of colors that they've got available to choose from. Some of the colors are not available, so you might have to go on eBay or on Marketplace on Facebook and see who might be selling some of the discontinued. If you see anything clearanced at a store, they might be discontinuing that color because there's so many, and you can only keep so many in the stock room, right? So if you find a color you like, then you better grab it, especially if it's on a clearance. And I like buying them from the store better because I can see in person the true color, but I have a good idea of what they look like now that I've been using the different colors and so forth for so long. Now if I want to blend these a little bit more, I can use a blending tool or a blending brush while these are still wet. So the ink was still a little wet, and so I'm just going to dry it out quicker, and just by doing that. Okay, now I can clean this off too just by doing this with my baby wipe and just cleaning that off. Not real fussy with it. So there's that. I'm gonna leave this. I'll probably add more little ditties along the way, but for right now, that one is done. What I'll do is when you start using stamps too, you're going to want to get a nice block. They sell these no brands on Amazon all day long. This one happens to be from illustratedfaith.com. They've got a lot of materials you can shop for as well. But that holds these sticky ones down. I didn't like these sticky ones when they first started coming out. Just because they blend in too much. need to put them in a folder and organize them well, and they're kind of a pain to take out, put back in, and so forth. These plastic bags they come in are so cheap, you know, and for as much as they charge, you'd think that they would make like a nice Ziploc bag thickness so that they don't rip when you go to take one of these stickers out. It's kind of ridiculous that you got to spend more money buying a better quality place to put these in to make them stick. So I just make do with what I have. So I think with this, I'm going to use and the nice thing with this too is you can do this. And I'm not real precise with these. I could pull out my little stamper from We Are Memories and do that, but I don't need to. I don't need to do that. That's extra work in my little space. So what I'll do is just put that there. Now it is a little bit light. So when that dries, I'm going to go over that with my Sharpie because I want it to stick out a little bit more. But I got to give it a little bit of time to dry. Clean that off. Pop that back in here. And we're good. Okay, so there's that. I'm going to give that a minute. What I can also do, if you want to speed it along a little bit, I'm taking my scrapbook. I take my old sales papers and just cut them up and use them for scrap. So I just do that to make sure that that's dry, because I don't want to get it on my Sharpie pen. So I'm going to carefully and then I'm going to just do a little circle around here, to again highlighting this and making it look more complete, if you will. And let's see, I'm going to emphasize this a little bit more. You know what I don't like about these new Sharpies? The way they make them. They give you the fine point, but once you write with it like twice, it's no longer pointy. And I kind of write hard. So I don't like how cheap the felt tip is. It used to be a little more sturdy. And then I'm just going to come in and do some dots, just because I like dots a lot. And I'm going to put in a heart. Way too cute. All right. And come in with some pink here. So yeah, I'm not a big, I do love my colored pencils, and I don't use them as often as I probably should. I love chalk. That is a ton of fun, but it's very messy. Chalk is one of my favorites. I like pens first, markers, and then I want to color this guy. I'm debating here. How do I want to do this? I'm going to do a little purple. Now this one is a cheapy brand. I don't even know what this is. Like, I think I got these from, maybe from Costco. It's a really soft felt tip brush. Give him a little cute little hairdo there. I'm going to do the tail here. Give him a little bit of fluff to him so it's not looking so like perfected. Give him a little bit there. I was going to use these, but I don't think that's what I want to use. I need something with a brush. This one's a hot pink, so I'm gonna, oh yeah, that's, ooh, love that. Love it. And then I want to just, again, I'm blending some colors to make it look more realistic and not flat. Just using one color makes it look flat. And if it looks good to you, that's what you do, you know? That is the great thing here. I'm going to do a little highlight here, a little highlight there. Maybe even do a little highlight here. Oh, love it, love it, love it. Yeah, that's cute. Sweet Jesus. I'm going to do a little more up here with the color outline, just because I want to. Again, doesn't have to be perfect. Just want to give it a little more oomph. You know, a little oomph. All right, sweet. Oh, let's see. You know what? I'm wondering if, do I dare? I'm going to give an orange beak, and I might come in here and highlight with some brown. Give a little extra little color here. Not real obvious and pushy, but it deepens the color and the shadows. Amazing. Don't be afraid to mix colors. And again, if you really absolutely hate it and say it's the most disgusting thing I've ever done, like, you'll know the difference. You'll know the difference between if you just don't like what you did or if it's just atrocious, it needs to go in the garbage. And don't be super duper picky with yourself. That's the key. All right, let's see. I'm wondering, I think, shall I just, oh yeah. And again, I can bring some of these other colors and blend them in. I'm overlapping this, and see how there's a little bit of that pink in there, so I want to rub that off on my scratch paper. I am loving this. And you know, it's not, a bird is not perfect. He's not colored perfectly, so blend away, you know, and make him look just prettier. And again, I'm going to make sure that I get rid of those extra colors so that when I want to use this goldenrod, it'll be goldenrod. But don't be afraid to go ahead and mix like that. It looks great. And then I'm going to get a lighter pink here. I think this one's kind of dark. Yeah, that's too dark. Let me see here. Oh, this is great. Now, because this paper is a yellow, this cream color, it's actually cool gray, which really looks more like a cream in real life. But because this paper is old and it's antique yellow, that just gives it a little oomph that it looks like it's colored. What I might do then too is just take and do a little outline here. I'm going to outline the eye like so. And because I don't have a lot of paper down here, I don't have to give him like finger or leg fingerprints or whatever. Nice, love it. I need a little bit of black to put in. Looking for the right marker. I don't know if I still, I think my black. Oh no, here I do have this one. These are some, this Tombow, these are really old, like probably 25 years old. I like these, but they kind of dry out fast. Oh yeah, that's perfect. The felt and the way that they made these are really, it's really great. These, again, are original Tombows from a long time ago. And I do like the felt, just nice and creamy and flowy. I thought it dried out. I'm glad it didn't. So I'm going to bring the eye down here, and I'm going to have to get that white pen out. And I'm just going to do a little highlighting here with this to give it a little more depth. And it may look a little messy to some people, and that's okay. I don't care. I like it. I like the way it's coming out. I might even do a little, I don't know. I might leave it like that. All right, let me see if I can dig my, yeah, here it is. I'm going to go ahead and dig this out. So this is Winsor & Newton calligraphy ink. And I thought this is the best solution, I think, to creating, instead of using markers and pens that don't work. The problem is with these, you really have to learn how to use the calligraphy pens. So you got to do a little shaky shaky. And I'm going to see how this comes out. Love it. Now I'm going to go back to this one and give it a little bit. Oh yeah, I like that. Okay. Now this is going to have to lay flat because that's bubbly. And I need a baby wipe to clean that off. Clean that off right away so you don't get ink drying up in there. You don't want that with these guys. A lot of fun. All the tools, so much fun. Alright, I think I'm going to like the way that that's going to turn out. Now, it might need a little extra. Yeah, I think it needs a little extra there. But I think that's going to be a good solution. And the key is going to be to make sure that it's blended really well, to make sure you have enough ink. And there's a little hair there. Come on. Hair from the baby wipe. Okay. All right. So there's that. Now this paper, the ink might just really soak in and disappear, but it doesn't have to be a real bright thing. So I'm going to let that dry, and I'm going to let that dry and be done with it. And so I'm going to go ahead and finish with some of these other ones real quick. And I was going to do a little bit more. Oh, you know what I wanted to do? Here. This was one of the things I was going to do. So these stickers here. Oh, loving this. Loving this. Now I do have a longer plastic thing here, but I am going to just use what I have handy instead of going digging for time's sake. And I'm just going to do that. Just to add a little more depth to the page, to give it a little more personality and so forth. and in different ways. I'm just going to use this color because that's what I have handy right now, and that's okay. And yeah, so this is real old-fashioned paper, so the ink is really soaking in and giving a little bit of a blur look to it because of the paper soaking the ink in. And it's not that this is super wet or anything like that. And that's okay. It's all good. It's all good. It's all good. All right, I'm going to go ahead and change colors now for these last two and do blue. One trick is if your ink pad is a little bit dry, go ahead and get it wet or with a wipey and gives it moisture on there, and that will absorb a little bit more ink. This is a lighter blue, so it's not coming out real dark, and that is okay. That's all right. I'm okay with that. And what I think I might do is I can go in and add a darker blue. I love this faded jean color. Love it. And I'm just going to go on top of that. Sweet. All right. Now I'm going to put that away. And then come back with the hearts. And I want to add hearts. Now, because I did blue, I'm going to go ahead and do blue in here. And I can always add pink in the center of it all. And I think that there is a darker blue if you wanted to do that, or I'll show you another cheat here. I have this gel pen, so I can go ahead and just come in and do an outline with that and fill in the blank spots. So you see how I did that. And I can go in, I can leave that lighter blue showing, or I can thicken it up. Okay, so like that. Or I can take let's see. Ooh, this one's gray is not a good color for markers. It's bleeding through. I don't use this color very often. But I'm going to go ahead and use this gray in here. It's kind of drying up. I've not used this particular color very often. And it's really a pretty color. It's kind of a slate gray. I like that. And you can see through it. Sweet. And then if I want to, I'm going to take this other blue. Nice. I can add the color, and if you layer, you're going to get a little bit of a variance here, kind of a streak, if you will. I'm going to add this blue here on the wing with a little bit on the head and the chest. I'm going to add some dots, bigger dots. Just because I like dots, and actually I probably should be using this side to do that with, not the calligraphy side. And then let me come down here, and I'm just going to write sweet. There we go. So there's that. I'm going to maybe color this in with a little bit of kind of muted a little bit of color with this mauve colored pencil. Go ahead and mix media it, guys. You can use markers with colored pencils. do a little bit of a highlight magenta pink here. Bring a little bit in here. A little bit up on the top. I can color some up here. So you can bring in all these other colors at different spots to kind of blend it in, okay? What do I want? I don't know if I want to leave. Let me see. This is the cool gray. Let's see how this works. Now it kind of highlights that. I like that. So it's giving it a little bit of a muted yellow because of the page being yellow and antique-y. But I like the fact that when I use the stencil, it blends it, and it made the little stencil stand out a little bit. So that's awesome. I'm going to give this guy green eyes. Highlight his cute little feet. Give it a little extra flair. Just to make sure, you know, just to have it outlined, you know, so we see some of that sweet shape of the bird. I'm just going to use my pen for this one to give him a little bit of highlight in his eye. There we go. That worked out well. And I'm going to let that sit. I'm going to probably outline it in a dark blue. Let's see. I can do that now. Oops, I just smeared it. Darn. Oops, there it is. Things happen. And it's okay. Oh yeah, I'm loving that. I love the ripped paper look, and then when you highlight it, it really looks so cool. I'm going to give this heart a little bit of extra thickness on the side here. Sweet. Okay, awesome. There we go. That one can dry. And then I'm going to add some, I did hearts there. So I'm going to grab this hot pink for this guy. I love these whimsical hearts. Let's see how good this comes out. And I went off the page, and that is okay. And you know what I'm going to do for this one? I'm going to give a big heart right there. Love that idea. Love it. And then I can move them around so it doesn't look like I'm making these the same shape with all of these. So let's take this. And then just to do the 3, you're supposed to do things in odd number, but not always. Not always. Just depends on what you feel like doing. It's okay. I love this. It's picked raspberry, or hot pink, if you will. And then what I can do is just make a heart down here, because there is that rhythm of having an odd number to make the flow. I'm going to give a heart there. Sweet. I love that. Give me this hot pink. Love it. And with the ink drying and it being a little bit wet, it's blending in a little bit, so I'm loving that. Again, that blending just really makes it punch a little bit. I'm going to do the same here. Love it. just do a little highlighting just for the fun of it. Okay. This is very similar in color. This is called Pink Rose. Love it. Sweet. All right. This is one I got from the dollar store. I'm not sure I would suggest this one. I've never used it and it feels like it's dried out already. It's called Fine Point Pen Mark. I wouldn't suggest it. Seems super dry for a big fat marker. Ah, love it, love it, love it. All right. And if you go over it all, just make it bigger. It's all good. Okay, nice. Alright, with this I'm going to color the beak in there we go. Liking it very much. And then I don't know what color I want to do here. I'm going to maybe do a little blending, a little highlight. I'm looking for the right kind of brush. Kind of having a hard time with, I need more brushes with this flexibility. Oh, the Prismas are nice. The Prismas are nice with the calligraphy and the very hard tip. It's really sweet. I think I'm going to just use colored pencil. finish that in. I'm going to grab my white in here and blend it. Nice. All right. I'm going to take my gel pen and just outline, and even doing a little outline on the bird is kind of a good idea too. I like that idea, giving him a little bit more personality. And oh, you know what I didn't do here? Here, let's do this. Didn't do his little tail here. Sorry about that, guys. Just feel like I swallowed a feather. See, sometimes these just don't want to do the thing. Alright, it is what it is with that. Okay, I'm going to let that dry. Okay. Alright, that's it for now, guys. That just gives you a little bit of a idea of ways to draw without having to draw if you aren't comfortable doing that. And have fun with it. Keep trying and experimenting. And the fun thing is, if you take old books and take the pages out, you're not wasting paper per se. And if you make a mistake, no big deal. You throw it in the garbage and it's done. So that is a rather fun thing to do with old books or old magazines that have a nice paper that you can draw on and so forth. And then just use your tools that you have, your pens, your paper, and all of that, so you can experiment and try, and it's just a blessing. All right, so you guys have a great day, and I will talk to you soon.